Hey yo, what is up FPG fam? Further here and welcome back to another Aether video. Today we're going to be talking about my man Anubis once again. I've been using him a little more in depth and learned some tips and tricks that might give you a little edge when it comes to DPS for him. Might allow you to do a little more damage. So I do hope you enjoyed today's video. I do hope you get some value from it. Now, before we jump into those tips and tricks, a quick massive shout out to the sponsor of the channel, as always, Gamersupps. If you want anything from Gamersupps, use the link in the description down below, take you right over to their website. You can peruse their store. If you see anything that you like, whether that be a waifu shirt, waifu cup, or some Gamersupps, make sure to use code Further Beyond Gaming at checkout. Gives you 10% off everything in the store, so you save, you're not paying full price, and you also support the channel so we can do bigger and better things. Thank you guys so much. They have the brand new JJK Jujutsu Kaisen flavor restocked. It's amazing, as well as other flavors that are all organic and give you amazing energy, so you can farm all day long for your Thor that's going to be coming on December 11th. Their shirts, the best of quality, and their waifu cups have the best designs, and they're all collectibles, by the way. Anyways, thank you guys so much for all the support. I do truly appreciate it. Let's go ahead and hop straight into it. So the very first thing that I did want to go ahead and mention is there is a bit of a specific order on the way you want to go ahead and do his skills. So essentially what you would want to do is, of course, when you first start battle, you want to go ahead and get the doggo out right away. That's going to be first and foremost. You're going to want to go ahead and do skill 1. I mentioned this when I was doing this breakdown, but skill 1 is going to give you that crit rate up. So you want to make sure you do that, and then do your skill with the doggo once again, and then go ahead and do your skill 2 so you get the shadow damage up, and then go ahead and do the skill for the doggo as well. That's how you're going to optimize your rotation to get the most damage, so you get crit rate up and you go ahead and get the shadow damage up. Now, the other thing that I did want to mention is you want to spam your skills. You want to make sure they're on cooldown before you do your ultimate. So this is going to be the second thing you want to implement, because when you do the ultimate, if you remember, it brings, not only do you get a teammate buff all around, but you also have all your skill come off cooldown. So you don't want to already have your skills up and then do the ult, because you're going to be wasting out on damage. You can get a lot more damage if you go ahead and pop your skills, have them on cooldown, do your ult, and get them off cooldown, and then be able to spam them again, if that makes sense. So hopefully I can demonstrate this. So you get the doggo out, right? Skill 1, doggo skill. Skill 2, doggo skill. On cooldown, do the ult. Now you're going to see they're off cooldown, and go ahead and spam your stuff, and go ahead and do your skills. Go ahead and do your skills, and that's how you're going to be able to get a lot of damage and be more efficient with your Anubis. So that way you're doing the most damage as possible, right? So you want to make sure you're doing that. Once again, in the heat of battle, you know, you may not be doing things perfectly. It's understandable, but that's something that you can practice to try and get as much DPS out of your Anubis as possible. Now, the last thing that I did want to go ahead and talk about is the doggo himself. You know how he does the joint attacks? Well, if you're unaware, you can actually interrupt those joint attacks, and it's more specifically to the one where he's doing his flip and spin. You can interrupt that and not allow him to do his attack, which means you're losing out on DPS. Let me show you as an example. So let's go ahead and get the doggo out right now. He does a specific attack where he jumps up in the air, that one right there, and spins and then rolls around. You can actually interrupt that attack. You see how I just interrupted it with the skill? So you have to keep that in mind. And sometimes he'll go ahead and do it because he might be in mid animation. Let me go ahead and I can show it again. He's gonna spin. You saw how I just interrupted that? That might be something you were unaware about, because I was certainly unaware about that. So you have to keep that in mind. Let me go ahead and show you again. So he's going to go ahead and jump down, jump up. And you can actually, I did it wrong. You can actually interrupt that attack. Let me go ahead and see if I can show it off one more time. So let's get the doggo out. He's out. He's going to do his little spin attack. Sometimes he doesn't, but you can force him to do it here. He's going to jump up, spin. You see how I just interrupted it? He's going to do it again. And you can make sure that you're getting the most out of him. See, he's going to do it again. But if you're just normal attacking, it doesn't interrupt. It's only with the skill. You see how I just interrupted it in midair? So that's something you have to keep in mind. Now, the way you can force the spin attack, because sometimes he does it randomly if you're just basic attacking. But you can force him to do it by doing the doggo skill. So let me go ahead and show you. This is how we're going to be really efficient. So we're going to go ahead and do the doggo skill. He's going to come out, and he's going to jump up. He's going to do the spin attack. Now do the skill, spin attack again. Now do the doggo skill. He's going to come out. He's going to spin attack. Let him roll around. Do the skill here. Do the skill here. Let him jump up and spin around. Perfect. He's gonna do it again. Perfect. And now he's gonna do it again. Let's not do that skill yet. Perfect. And then he's gonna go ahead and do a few slashes. And that's how you get the most damage output out of him. Now, when you're in the heat of battle and there's a lot going on, there's a bunch of enemies around, you're worried about dodging, you're not always, because sometimes the dog goes across the field, sometimes he's out of your own field of vision, so you're not always going to be able to keep an eye on him. So this is not something that's always going to be the most efficient way for you to play. Sometimes you're just going to be mashing the skills, and that's okay. But when you're facing, let's say, a boss as an example, and you can keep your eye on him specifically as well as the doggo, you can be very efficient, right? So let's go ahead and bring him out again. You can let him do his thing. You just don't, if you're doing, don't press the skill right there. You know, let him do his attack so you can get the most damage output out of him. Let him do his spin. Let him roll around on the ground. Let him do his spin. Let him roll around on the ground. Go ahead and do your attacks. Let him go and do it again. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and do it. Beautiful. Let him do it again. And this is how you can be very efficient, right? Let's go ahead and let him do it again. And this is how you're going to get the most damage output. Go ahead and do it again for me. Now, if he doesn't do it again on that second skill, it's because he's ready to end, you know, being out, and then you can bring him back out again. So those are some tips and tricks to help you get the most damage out of your Anubis. I do hope this video helped. I do hope you get some value from it. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. I know some people asked about his dodge skill. The dodge skill is not something that you have to do. It's not super necessary. Like, for example, for Oceanus, it's going to give him more ghosts, so that way he can be more efficient with his skill 3. With Anubis, you just get a little more damage. So if you can proc it, of course, go ahead and proc his dodge skill and do, you know, the range attacks that he does with the dodge skill. You definitely want to go ahead and do that, so that way you're getting the most damage out of him. But it's not something that you have to fish for like with Oceanus. You definitely want to try and get it. You don't have to with him. Other than that, I think, you know, everything's pretty straightforward when it comes to Anubis. And once again, I think he's a great modifier. He's very fun to play. He does, once again, have a little, you know, nuance to him to where you can be very, very efficient with him. He's a little more skillful than I thought he was. I thought he was pretty straightforward for the most part, but there is, and he is, but there is a way to be very optimal with him, and you can see that's how you can. Also, something that I didn't mention with his Aether code path, if you have his Sig Functor, I believe you want to go blue Aether code. If you don't, you can go full red and get a lot of benefits that way. So those are all things to keep in mind. But anyways, guys, I do hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, I do hope you got some value from it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name is Cody. You call me further. I'll see you all next one. Bye, guys.